please welcome him with as full cheerful manner as you can. He's especially coming to interact with the students, the youth of India. So we just want to see how much youth is there to welcome him. He's an inspiration for all of us. So please welcome him wholeheartedly. Energy levels are dropping down again. Till the time he enters the auditorium and walks on the aisle, this should not stop. Today, it's a very auspicious day for all of us, as His Excellency Bharat Ratna Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, former President of India, is here to interact with students. Before proceeding further, I would like to request Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam ji to kindly light the lamp. Thank you so much, sir. The mantra which we just recited, Sada hai Sajjan Ram, Ram hai Kul Jahan, means God is my best friend and He is omnipresent. Now, the students of Satyug Darshan Vidyalaya will welcome our distinguished guests.
आरती ले भारती है पथ निहारती, मूल्य भरे दृश्य ले आई नव सदी। स्वागत करें मिलके सतयुग का हम, आइए बढ़ाइए आप भी कदम। स्वागतम 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 स्वागतम। संभाव समदृष्टि की युक्ति प्रवान करी, जैसे हमारे युग पुरुष थे वैसे ही इंसान बनी, वैसे ही इंसान बनी। आओ बात समझ नहीं आई। संभाव समदृष्टि की युक्ति अपना कर ग्रंथों की वाणी का सत्कार करो। उनमें वर्णित जीवन चरित्र अनुरूप ढलकर अपनी पर उपकार करो, अपनी पर उपकार करो। आओ संभाव समदृष्टि की युक्ति प्रवान करें। जैसे हमारे युग पुरुष थे वैसे ही इंसान बने, वैसे ही इंसान बने। आओ हम मिलकर उन जैसी ही चाल चली। जैसा उन्होंने कर दिखलाया वैसा ही कमाल करी, वैसा ही कमाल करी। आओ हम मिलकर उन जैसी ही चाल चली। जैसा उन्होंने कर दिखलाया वैसा ही कमाल करी, वैसा ही कमाल करी।
Thank you so much. Now, I would request Mr. Amit Garg, Chairman, Satyug Darshan Technical Campus, to kindly welcome Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam on behalf of Satyug Darshan Trust.
His Excellency Bharat Ratna Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, our mentor, respected Sajan Ji, Shrimati Rashma Gandhi, Managing Trustee of Satyug Darshan Trust, Trustees of Satyug Darshan Trust, members of Board of Governors of the Technical Campus, and the Managing Committees of Educational Institutions set up by Satyug Darshan Trust, distinguished principals from various schools, teachers, faculty members, students, volunteers, and distinguished guests. Namaste, a very good evening, and Jai Sitaram to all of you. It is a great honor, indeed, for us to welcome a person who is one of the most distinguished scientists of India, a great patriot, and above all, a great human being, who is committed to the cherished virtues of humanity and has led India to become a respectable name in the space of missile technology. Dr. Abdul Kalam is an engineer with specialization in aeronautical engineering. He has made significant contributions to develop India's indigenous satellite launch vehicle, making India an exclusive member of the Space Club. He was responsible for development of indigenous guided missiles like Agni and Prithvi and Pokhran nuclear test, making India a nuclear weapon state. He has led the Technology Vision 2020 to transform India into a developed nation. He has embarked upon a mission to ignite young minds for national development by meeting school students across the country. Dr. Kalam is considered as the most popular president among students till date. He has authored a number of books such as Wings of Fire, Ignited Minds, Guiding Souls, India 2020, A Vision for the New Millennium, Inspiring Thoughts, to name a few. His books have been translated into many Indian and foreign languages. He has been honored with doctorate from 45 universities. He was awarded Padma Bhushan in 1981, Padma Vibhushan in 1990, and highest civilian award Bharat Ratna in 1997. He has several international recognitions, and he is the 11th President of India. Respected sir, we thank you for your kind consideration to meet our students and faculty members to motivate them to become leaders and torchbearers of the new era of peace and prosperity. Your efforts to ignite and inspire over 5 million youth in last decade for their active participation in the India Vision 2020 is really commendable. We see this as a step in a direction to lead the country to a golden tomorrow through the youth. Our trust, which comprises of selfless individuals from all sections of society, originated more than 70 years back and is committed to bring about much needed human transformation in the society by nurturing human nature into well-developed beings who would become role models for the society because of their integrity, ethics, and adherence to human code of conduct based on principles of equanimity and even-sightedness. To take this message to the entire world, Satyug Darshan Trust is opening world's first school of equanimity and even-sightedness on 26th January 2014 to help every human being. It is to help every human being to overcome misconduct and lead a virtuous life by transcending all man-made boundaries of dualism, caste, religion, to become an ideal human being, symbolic of beings of the golden age, which is also referred and reflected in the rich cultural heritage of our country. Our trust has set up various institutions to alleviate physical, mental, and spiritual suffering of humanity through our 17 charitable dispensaries. Every year, we help over 1 million needy people with medical care. Our 15 music centers are committed to train Indian youth on Indian classical music and dance to bring about purity in their mind through this art. The foundation of education philosophy of our trust and the school, including a technical campus, is based on holistic development of students to help them realize their limitless potential. Today, we had organized a principals conclave with the participation of over 100 distinguished principals from reputed schools of Northern India who are present here along with 400 plus students and faculty members. And we discussed ways to strengthen values in our education system to lead India to a golden tomorrow. I'm sure the interaction with your good self would help us foster this vision and strengthen this resolve. Now I would request Honorable Dr. Kalam to bless the students with his inspiring thoughts and kind words. I request everyone to put their hands together and welcome Bharat Ratna Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam.
Friends, good evening to all of you. Please sit down. Can you hear me, all of you? All the fellows? The backseaters? You can hear me very good. Now, friends, I am very happy to be here in the Satyug Darshan Technical Campus. I would like to greet Sri Sajan, Chief Mentor of Satyug Darshan Trust, Rashma Gandhi, Srimati Anupama Talwar, Sri Amit Garg, teachers, staff, students, and parents, and distinguished guests. Friends, before I talk, I would like to know to whom I address, okay? Tell me how many high school students are here. Lift your hand. High school students. High school students. Lift your hand. Fully high. Lift it. Fully lift it. Not like this. Fully lift it. Okay. These high school students. Okay. 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 How many engineering students? Okay. Engineering students. Okay. How many management students? Okay. How many principals are there? Principals. Principals of the school or colleges? Both are there. How many? How many number? About 30. 100 principals are there. Out of 800. See, totally 800. How many BED students? BED, no student, okay. BED, no student, okay. So friends, with this, I have really delighted to visit the Satyug Darshan Technical Campus and address and interact with the students, faculty members, teachers and principals from various schools of Faridabad. I am sure the education system provided by the Satyug Trust will empower the students to face the challenge of the new era, and the name symbolizes Satyug. My greetings to all of you. Friends, when I see the faculty and students of various schools, colleges, management, engineering of Faridabad in front of me, I am thinking what thoughts I can share and discuss with you. Hence, I have selected the topic of my talk, transforming myself to be unique. Transforming myself means yourself. Okay? Yourself. I am going to talk to you, transforming yourself to be a unique. Each one of you, after this, my talk, you will know a blueprint how to become a unique. Okay? Okay? Topic is okay? This topic you like? Transforming myself to be unique. Now, before that, there's a high school students, engineering students, management students, and teachers, all are there. All good, great competition. I want to tell you, what is the capacity building model? Whether high school or college or engineering or management, a capacity building model, and also your chiefs of management are sitting here. So I thought of sharing with all of you what is called capacity building model. When the students come out of an educational institution, certain capacities are required to be built in them to deal with the real world, particularly to grow in their professional career and participate in the national development. After all, why you are studying, you have to participate in the national development. I suggest the student must be embedded right from the beginning of the student's life from primary education. For participating in the nation building task, the capacities required to be built among the students in their formative years by the educational institutions are research and inquiry. Number one, research and inquiry is very important. Any university in future going to be recognized not how much big building you have and how many teachers you have, but whether the teachers and the institution have got a research capacity, research and inquiry, then that will lead to creativity, innovation. Then ability to use high technology, because today, wherever you go, you have to use high technology. Internet-based education has come, competitive education. Then entrepreneurial leadership. Finally, you should know, if you go out of this campus, you know what to do. You carry with a skill or carry with the expertise so that you become employable. That's why entrepreneurial leadership. Finally, a moral leadership. Good human beings. No? Satyug Darshan creates good human beings. I hope so. So all of you. Now for building capacity, it is essential to increase the teacher-students ratio, improve the quality of teachers, provide continuous methods for upgradation, and provide them with the technology aids for becoming lifelong autonomous learners. Now when I say improve the quality of teachers, I would like to recall when I was in the primary school 10-year boy, I was studying 5th class in Rameshwaram at Tamil Nadu. There is one teacher, there are hundreds of teachers in an institution. But this teacher, his name is Sivasubramania Iyer. When he enters in the classroom, he radiates knowledge. Enters the classroom, he radiates knowledge. And also, he radiates purity of life. Radiates purity of life. Knowledge and purity of life. If a teacher, you have such a teacher who can radiate knowledge and purity of life based on his Gandhian life. So it means, forget about the syllabus. You got a good syllabus. Somehow you manage to get 60%, 80%, 90%, 100%. But knowledge and radiating the knowledge, radiating the purity of life, that's the greatest education I got from my school. I am confident that the team members of the Satyug Darshan Trust and the other schools and colleges of Faridabad will structure the education system which can build the capacity needed by the student for his or her future career. If you develop in all our students these 5 capacities, we will produce autonomous learner, a self-directed, self-controlled, lifelong learner who will have the capacity to both respect authority, at the same time is capable of questioning authority in an appropriate manner. These are the leaders who would work together as a self-organizing network, transform the nation into a developed nation in a time bound. Now friends, when I see the large number of students from different schools, mostly 400 boys and girls are there, and colleges of Faridabad area, I thought of sharing few great minds are remembered in the society. Great minds are remembered in the society for their unique thinking and action. Always remember, great minds are always remembered. You, the young students, have a tremendous potential to become a unique and to be remembered with the society. So now, how to become a unique you? Now friends, you look up, you see this light radiating like that, bulb and light. Whom do you remember? Whom do you remember? Thomas Alva Edison, you remember, for his unique contribution towards the invention of electric bulb and his electric lighting system. Thomas Alva Edison, he did not have money to go to school. He was in London. So he was not taught at all. He didn't go to the school. But his teacher, the great teacher, was great books. Library, general library. There he came across a Faraday's 2-volume of electricity and magnetism. You know Faraday's law, And that book became his mentor. Thomas Alva Edison, that became a book. Now friends, light when you see, immediately you remember Thomas Alva Edison. Now every day you see aircraft fly. When the aircraft fly, you remember 2 guys. Wright brothers, you remember? And then when the telephone bell rings, you remember. Alexander Graham Bell, you remember. Now I am going to tell you one story of an Indian scientist. In 1929, he was traveling from London to Calcutta. When he reached Calcutta airport and Calcutta seaport, and he saw sun was shining, and he looked at the sea, horizon, sea was blue, sky was blue. He asked a question, why sky is blue? Why sea is blue? For 7 years, he has to work hard, do the research to find out what is the phenomena. The phenomena was backscattering of the light. For that he got a Nobel Prize. Can you think of a person? I am asking students, and you are all very bright professors. I am asking the students, okay? So, who is that? Sir C.V. Raman. Now, one lady, let me interact with the students, please help me, okay? all experienced people, you know everything I know. Now, one lady, one great lady, she got 2 Nobel Prizes. You see that, how smart that side? Madame Curie got a 2 Nobel Prize, one for discovering the radium, another for characterizing all the radium metals. Now friends, there is every day, morning you get up and sun is shining. Any one of you at any time, have you asked a question, how long sun is going to shine? How long? Sun is going to shine. It is a thermonuclear reaction taking place in our star, that is our sun. But no time, any one of you asked a question, how long this sun fellow is going to survive? How long is going to radiate? But one scientist asked that question, young man asked that question. And then he discovered what is called Chandra limit. Okay? If you use the Chandra, small equation, if you use a Chandra limit, it says, I have also used that equation, it says 10 billion years sun will shine. 10 billion years. But 5 billion years are over, okay? Another 5 billion years are there to going to shine, so you don't need to worry, okay? Okay? So, this Chandra limit and black hole was discovered. He got a Nobel Prize. Can you remember a person? Yes? Chandrasekhar, loud, speak loud. Get up and say, you know. Yes? Eh? Yes, Chandrasekhar Subramaniam, very good. Chandrasekhar Subramaniam, he is the person who did that. Now you remember, very good, very bright people here. Now this one great mathematics mind, he wrote an exam in Kumbakonam, Tamil Nadu, in intermediate. Every subject he failed, except mathematics. The mathematics teacher who was correcting, I don't know how many people like mathematics, correcting, and he put 108 for 100 marks. He has done so well. But that person, because of British India and also India's India also, such person cannot go admission the college. The British India did not give him admission 1930s. I hope India's India will give such people who has failed. So he did not get admission. But he wrote a lot of good papers in mathematics, number theory. He wrote number of papers. This number theory papers he shipped in those days. In his time, there is no air, no internet. Shipped, it reached Cambridge University. They saw one Hardy, Professor Hardy saw that. He landed here, took Srinivasa Ramanujan to London. Then came the number theory, has become famous. Mathematics is famous. We have a genius in India was given. What is the genius? Who is the genius? That side, smarter side, eh? What about this side? Srinivasa Ramanujan, okay? Srinivasa Ramanujan. So friends, can you see that when I describe scientific events to you, young friends, you are in a position to name the scientist, isn't it? All of you, when I said light, you can remember Thomas Alva Edison. When I said telephone, immediately Alexander Graham Bell you can remember. A lady with 2 Nobel Prizes you can remember. Like that, Srinivasa Ramanujan you can remember. Like that, you get Chandrasekhar Subramaniam you remember. So friends, why do you remember? Why do they remember? Guess. Any one of you can tell me, why do you remember them? You don't remember anybody else. So many engineers are there, so many technologists are there, so many political leaders are there. You don't remember every day. Why do you remember them? Because they are very good answer, because they are unique. Now, question is whether you want to become unique. Okay? Then I can give you how to become unique. How many of you want to become unique? All of you want to become unique. All of you want to become unique. Okay? Now, hear me carefully. I am going to tell you, hear me carefully. History, again and again, has proved that at no time the crowd has achieved any unique solution. At no time the crowd has achieved any unique solution to the world. But it is only the ingenuity of the individual and intellectual supremacy that has brought all the best which the society is enjoying today. Remember that. Friends, I have so far met 16 million youth in a 2 decades time. Your age group, below your age group, mostly your age group. I learned every youth wants to be unique. That is you. But the world all around you is doing its best day and night to make you just to everybody else. I read again. I learned every youth wants to be unique. That is you. But the world all around you is doing its best day and night to make you just to everybody else. In the home, dear young fellows, you are asked by your parent to be like neighbors' children for scoring good marks. When you go to school, your teachers say, why not you become like the first 5 rankers in the class? Wherever you go, they are saying you have to be somebody else or everybody else. Now, dear young friends, how many of you would like to be unique yourself? Just now you gave an answer. All of you want to become unique yourself. Now hear me. The challenge, my young friends, is that you have to fight the hardest battle which any human being can ever imagine to fight, and never stop fighting until you arrive at your destined place, that is unique you. Friends, what will be your tool to fight the battle? What will be the tools? How does achievement come? I have studied all the 8 unique people. Just now you named them, all the unique people. I found all the 8 unique people had 4 unique qualities. Number 1 quality, they had a big aim. They had not small aim. Small aim is a crime. They had big aim. This Thomas Alva Edison, when he was a boy, he liked light. He used to see the light. But one day he said, I am going to electrify the whole New York, he said. Not only electrified New York, he electrified the whole world. Okay, the dream. So they had a great dream, great aim. Number 2 was, the aim alone not sufficient. They continuously acquire the knowledge through great books, through great human beings, through great teachers. That's the second one. Third one, of course, hard work. Fourth one is what's called perseverance. Whether Alexander Graham Bell or Sir C.V. Raman or Chandrasekhar Subramaniam, all of them, when they start their experiment for Nobel Prize winning work, all of them had got the problems. Okay? But they are not afraid of problems. They became the captain of the problem, defeated the problem, and succeed. That's called perseverance. So the message for all of you, if you have 4 qualities from the unique people I have gained, so I want to tell you, if you acquire that 4 qualities, you can become unique. What? Number 1? Number 1, great aim, not small aim, great aim. Number 2, continuously acquire the knowledge. Okay? Acquire the knowledge through great book, great teachers, great human being. Third, very good hard work. Fourth, perseverance. Why this side silent? Perseverance. Now, this if you have, definitely, now you know how to become unique? Yes or no? Okay, you are unique, you became unique. Now, since you want to become a unique, now some qualities you must have. You want to fly with me? Fly with me? All of you? Name of the poem is I Will Fly. Name of the poem is I Will Fly. Repeat with me. You have taken lunch, I suppose. Okay. Now, I am born with potential. I am born with goodness and trust. I am born with ideas and dreams. I am born with greatness. I am born with confidence. I am born with wings. I am born with wings. So, I am not meant for crawling because I have wings. I will fly. I will fly. I will fly. How many of you want to fly? So, friends, my message to you young friends is that education gives you wings to fly. Education gives you wings to, whether high school education, college education, or technical education, management education. My message to you young friends is that education gives you wings to fly. Achievement comes out of fire in our subconscious mind that I will win. That is very important factor, I will win. So each one of you here elsewhere will have wings of fire to fly. The wings of fire will indeed lead to knowledge which will make you to fly as you like. Okay. Now, next. Okay, excellence. Now, let us see all of you what you dream, whether high school students, college students, engineering students, management students. Culture of excellence is very, very important. Friends, you all belong to the youth community, which should stand for a culture of excellence. Moreover, excellence not by accident. Excellence not coming by accident. It's a process where an individual or organization or nation continuously strives to better oneself. The performance standards are set by themselves. They work on their dreams with focus and are prepared to take calculated risk and do not deterred by failures as they move towards their dreams. Then they step up their dreams as they tend to reach the original targets. They strive to work to their potential. In the process, they increase their performance, thereby multiplying further their potential, and this is an unending life cycle phenomenon. They are not in competition with anyone else but themselves. That's a culture of excellence. I am sure each one of you young fellows who are assembled here will aspire to become unique with culture of excellence. For becoming unique, the culture of excellence is very, very, very important. Now, friends, that type of century what we are having, even though Satyug gone, isn't it? Now we are in Kali Yuga, isn't it? Satyug is gone. But we are in 21st century. Let us see what is 21st century calls for, 21st century. The world in the 21st century will be a knowledge-based society with multiple opportunities. I was reading a book, Empires of the Mind, by Dennis Waitley. It should be in your library. If it is not, you acquire the book. It's called Empires of the Mind by Dennis Waitley. This book gives what type of new world which we are facing now. What was yesterday and what is today. I have modified certain points of the author to suit our condition. I have also added a third line which relates to the action of educational institution. The book says, what worked yesterday won't work today. What worked yesterday won't work today. Example, you can interact with me. Example, yesterday, natural resources defined the power. Yesterday, natural resources defined the power. Today, yes, correct, yes. Today knowledge is the power. Okay, today knowledge is the power. That means education institutions like Satyug Darshan will be a powerhouse for knowledge. The next point, should be. And yesterday, hierarchy was the model. Yesterday, hierarchy, bosses, hierarchy was the model. Today, guess. At least management should guess. Today, synergy is the mandate, working together. That means education institution would be enabler of the intersection of the multiple faculties towards mission goals, multiple faculties. Yesterday, leaders commanded, controlled. Leader was a commander yesterday. Today, yes, you are right. Yes, today leader empower and coach. You become a coach. Today leader become coach. That means you will empower and coach. That means potential leaders will be empowered through exposure to the needs of sustainable development. What is needed, India needs sustainable development. Yesterday, shareholders came first. Today, customers come first. That means education. Today, education is a very important, the way we have to teach. Give me the lecture. We have to teach how to make, that is shareholder came first, today customer come first. That means education to inculcate sensitive to customer needs. Next point, yesterday, employees took order. Today, creativity drives the status. That means education institution is the breeding environment for creativity. The institutions will be remembered for their creativity and innovation and excellence. So yesterday seniority signifies status. Seniority, level, first level, second level, third level, fourth. Today, creativity is the deciding factor. Yesterday, production determined the availability. Today, competitiveness is the key. Yesterday, value was extra. Today, value is everything. Value was extra. That's why we have got a lot of problem. Today, value is everything. That means collective value judgment to be introduced in education. Yesterday, everyone was a competitor. Today, everyone is a customer. Educational institution is also from education. Educated customer is also from the educational institution. Yesterday, it is very important, yesterday, profits were earned through expediency. Today, work with integrity and succeed with integrity. 21st century calls for, repeat with me, all of you. I will work with integrity and succeed with integrity. Tough job, succeeding. If you work with integrity and succeed in the tough job, only you have to do the tough job. I am sure the curriculum and the method of teaching in this institution has been designed cater for the needs for 21st knowledge society. Now, friends, I see some of the engineering students, 350 engineering students are there. Now, I want to tell you, when you go to this campus, you will find a new dimension to the technology, what is called convergence of technology. Convergence of technology, 4 dimensional. Now you study chemical engineering, you study mechanical engineering, you see civil engineering, electronics engineering. But when you go outside of the campus, your employability is going to decide whether you can make system design, system integration, system management. That's why what is called convergence of technology. The institution like Sadhguru Darshan Technical Campus should specialize in convergence of technology, 4 dimensions. Friends, the information technology and communication technology have already converged, leading to information communication technology. The information technology combined with the biotechnology has led to the bioinformatics. Similarly, photonics has grown out from the labs to converge with the classical electronics and microelectronics to bring in a new speed option in consumer products. Now, nanotechnology has come in. It is the field of the future that will replace the microelectronics and many fields with a tremendous application potential in the area of medicine, electronics and material science. When nanotechnology and ICT meet, and integrated silicon electronic photonics are born, it can be said that material convergence will happen. With material convergence and biotechnology linked, a new science called intelligent bioscience will be born, which would lead to disease-free, happy and more intelligent human habitat with longevity and high human capacities. Convergence of bio-nano info technologies taking place like a nanorobots. Now, another technology included now information, communication technology, information technology, biotechnology, nanotechnology. The 4th one is going to be included as ecoscience. So technology becomes 4-dimensional. So, okay, next. So, friends, finally, I would like to say that I will like to conclude with one suggestion. When you friends go out of this campus, and by the year 2020, what type of challenges you will have? I call it distinctive profile of the nation, a nation where the rural and urban divide has reduced a thin line. We have got 600,000 villages where 700 million people live. Actual opportunities in our rural folks, 600,000 villages, connectivity, that is rural, we have to give electronic connectivity and knowledge connectivity and also the technology connectivity. A nation where agriculture, industry and service sector work together in symphony. A nation where education value system is not denied to any meritorious candidate because of societal or economic discrimination. A nation where is the best destination for the most talented scholars, scientists and investors. A nation where the governance is responsive, transparent, corruption-free. A nation that's prosperous, healthy, secure and devoid of terrorism, peaceful and happy and continues with a sustainable growth path. To achieve the distinct profile of India, what I described, we have the mission of transforming India into a developed nation. We have identified 5 areas where India has a core competence for integrated action: agriculture and agro-food processing, education and healthcare, particularly women education, information communication technology to connect 600,000 villages, then infrastructure like reliable and quality electric power, surface transport and infra for all parts of the country, self-reliant critical technology. These 5 areas are correlated and progress in an integrated way will lead to overall national progress and development. I am sure all empowered students assembled here will become active partners in the realization of a visualization of India in the year 2020. We have to carve out an area in which you have passion and you would like to contribute. As you are aware, 750 million citizens of India live in the 600,000 villages spread across the country. For inclusive development of India, socio-economic and cultural development of these villages is very vital. I have suggested creation of 7,000 pura providing urban amenities rural area complex of various type based on topography and location. Pura providing urban amenities rural area provision of physical, it has envisages provision of physical, electronic and knowledge connectivity to the rural cluster with a minimum mass leading to economic connectivity. I would suggest authority of Satyuk Darshan Trust to select the rural complexes just all around your college, all around the university, rural complex consisting of nearly 50 villages with a population of around 1 lakh in the neighborhood of the college and transform that complex into a dynamic, economically viable, ethically high Pura complex. This Pura can be named as Satyuk Pura. Taking up such an important socially relevant project will enable the student and faculty to have experience of sustained development system like Pura. What do you say? Yes or no? Is that there? No, your management sitting here. So this lot of experience will give you for all the students, all the faculty members, research experience working with the rural people and beautiful road from here, from the university to the main road, that is highways, you will get a beautiful road. Finally, in conclusion, I would like to ask you, all young friends, what you would like to be remembered for. I have already told you how to become unique and how to become confident I can win. I would like to ask you what you would like to be remembered for. You have to evolve yourself, shape your life. You should write it on a page today on a computer screen you write. You should write it on a page. That page may be a very important page in the book of human history. And you will be remembered for creating that one page in the history of the nation, whether that page is the page of invention, the page of innovation, or the page of discovery, or the page of creating a societal change, or page of removing the poverty, or the page of fighting injustice, or planning and executing mission of network of rivers. I'll be very happy if you write your thoughts your thoughts on one page, and if you feel, you email to me apj@abdulkalam.com, apj@abdulkalam.com. If it's a good idea, I will correspond with you, send you some books also. So may God bless you all, friends. See, I have for you oath for the students, okay? Oath for or question and answer. Which one you want? Question and answer, right? 5 questions. You can ask any one of the students can ask 5 questions, okay? Yes, get up. How do we eradicate? Eradicate the poverty. Corruption. Well, I tell you, corruption. Hello? How will you eradicate the corruption, okay? What I say, will you follow? All of you will follow? All of you? You have given me promise, you have to follow then, okay? It's like this. We have billion people. Isn't it? Billion people live approximately 200 million houses. Each 5 people. So 200 million houses. Out of 200 million houses, one Transparent Society of India has said 30% of the houses are corrupt. Okay? Homes. 30% of the homes are corrupt. That means 60 million houses are corrupt. Okay? In our country, according to the estimate. So, speaking, 60 million houses are corrupt. What is there in each house? There is a father, a mother, 2 daughters, 1 son, or 2 sons, 1 daughter. Okay? These are. Imagine a son or daughter knows his father is corrupt, and if he goes to his father, whatever you get for me, corrupt money, motorcycle or car, I will not drive. Okay? Such a courage young fellows they have, corruption will vanish. How many of you have such courage? How many of you have such courage? How many of you? Really? So many? Then parents should be very careful, corrupt parents. Okay, next question. That side. Yes, you ask. One girl will ask. Anybody ask us. Anybody who push fast. Push.
Good evening.
Yes, go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
My question to you is, after the Nirbhaya rape case,
After?
the Nirbhaya rape case which took place in Delhi, after that, 16th December, the sad day for India, after that our parents has become so much caring about all the girls that somewhere it's become like they are not allowing their girls to move out their four walls so that they can achieve their education. So what message would you like to give our parents?
Well, I personally believe that one of the things is the education system and home and education system, both of them should teach regular course. They must have how to respect women, teaching should be there, how to respect for boys, all the boys and grown up, how to respect the womanhood. Okay, this was essential. Then if that is put in, then things will improve, I hope. What do you say? Because teaching for the male folk is very vital. Okay? Okay. Middle has not asked any question. Middle. Idle. Middle. Yeah, middle.
Good
No,
evening,
middle row.
sir. Good evening, sir. I
Yes.
want to ask a question, sir.
No, middle row. You are not in middle row. Yes, ask. Ask, I say. Help her, I say. You all are watching. Yeah.
Good evening, sir. This is Preeti here.
Hello, sir.
I want to.
Go ahead.
Since you are in you are in aerospace field. I want to know how we have the career options in India in this field.
Well, I personally believe as soon as you reach 10th class, okay, you know your subject of interest. It may be mathematics, physics, art, geography, some subject. So, for example, for me, the subject in those days, the intermediate subject was the chemistry, mathematics, and physics. Okay, that will lead you to engineering. Now, aerospace today, aerospace engineering, if you take that subject, physics, chemistry, mathematics, after 10 plus 2, you can take a course, B.Tech Aerospace. Many institutions are teaching. Okay? Okay. Last question. Yes, go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good
Go
evening,
ahead.
sir.
Go ahead.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Where are you?
I want to ask a question.
Yes.
My question is, India is facing a serious problem of brain drain. Why is it so?
No brain drain, don't worry. Because it's like this. We are billion people. Nearly 30 billion people are abroad today. Okay? 30 million people. In the globalized world, out of the 30 billion people, many people have become citizens of other country. Many people are coming back. Many people are yearning and giving their knowledge. Whoever gone abroad, and he brings the knowledge, he brings the wealth. Now, there's nothing wrong. People going, nothing like brain drain. Sometimes you get knowledge, sometimes you get the wealth also, okay? So, one of the very important remittance for India, a lot of money also we get, knowledge and money. So, people movement in the globalized world will be always there. You have to accept it, okay? It's not a brain drain, brain gain only, okay? Okay. Now all of you repeat with me what I am going to say. All of you repeat with me. Okay? Ignited mind of the youth is the most powerful resource on the earth, above the earth, under the earth. Now, regarding the questions, 1 minute, regarding the question, any question you want to ask me, because I have to go to another engagement. No, 1 minute. Another question. If you have got a question, you send a question or you want an autograph, you send a mail to me, apj@abdulkalam.com. apj@abdulkalam.com. You will get the answer to your question 24 hours. Okay? You will get, and also you will get an photograph. Okay? Photograph. Wish you all the best. God bless you. Come. You want a boss permission? This for your library. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us with your thoughts. Now, I request Sri Sajanji, Chief Mentor of Satyug Darshan Trust, to bless the audience with his words of wisdom.
All are welcome here. Our Honorable Chief Guest, Bharat Ratna Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, distinguished dignitaries, members of Board of Governors of STTC, principals, teachers, faculty staff, and dear students. It is indeed a proud moment for all of us to welcome and felicitate Bharat Ratna Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam today in our campus. Dr. Kalam is also popularly known as the Missile Man of India for his work on development of ballistic missile and space rocket technology. Everyone also know him as a great scientist, an engineer, and a true visionary. We all remember with reverence that he was called the People's President. He was honored with Padma Bhushan in 1981, Padma Vibhushan in 90, and Bharat Ratna in 97, the highest civilian award in the country. He has authored a number of educative and inspirational books, most notably his autobiography, Wings of Fire, aimed at motivating Indian youth. He held the highest office of President of India from 2002 to 2007. We feel deeply honored by his presence here today and express our sincere gratitude for his kind acceptance of our invitation. We at Satyug Darshan Trust subscribe to the belief that spirituality helps to achieve enlightenment, ensures purity of thoughts, speech, actions, habits, and ultimately our character becomes pure. Purity in thought, word, and deed are the three essential ingredients to achieve spiritual goal of life. We could not have thought of a more illustrious personality than Dr. Abdul Kalam to engage with the impressionable students present here today. What was of particular interest and fascination for our young audience this afternoon was the scholarship and the rigor that our Honorable Chief Guest brought to bear in his thoughts and presentation. This has truly ignited our minds and enriched each one of us here. For the young audience present here, there is a great inspirational guide quote by Dr. Kalam which says, listen, thinking is progress. Thinking is progress. Non-thinking is stagnation of the individual, organization, and the country. Thinking leads to action. Knowledge without action is useless and irrelevant. Knowledge with action converts adversity into prosperity. In the end, we take the liberty to request our Honorable Chief Guest and others to keep guiding and advising us in our endeavor towards a novel journey that we have taken proactively to set up a unique institution, namely School of Equanimity and Even-Sightedness, to establish the constitution of humanity in the society. We have fixed 26 January 2014 as the date for its inauguration. We take this opportunity to cordially invite Dr. Kalam and others present here for the inaugural function. We believe that this school will be the first of its kind in the world, which will impart spiritual education based on the philosophy of equanimity and even-sightedness without any discrimination on any count to all aspiring students and everyone in the society. Such education would surely lead them towards moral and ethical transformation. The continued blessings and association of Dr. Kalam with our spiritual center will foster in all of us higher level of enthusiasm and commitment to promote justice and equity in our society. To conclude, we would like to profoundly thank Dr. Kalam and other dignitaries, including educationists, who have graced this occasion with their distinguished presence and bless the students present here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sajanji. Now I would request Sajanji to kindly felicitate His Excellency Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam ji. Thank you so much, sir. Now, I request Srimati Rashma Gandhi ji, Managing Trustee of Satyug Darshan Trust, to deliver vote of thanks.
Our Honorable Chief Guest, Bharat Ratna, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, distinguished dignitaries, trustees of Satyug Darshan Trust, members of Board of Governor of Satyug Darshan Technical Campus, principals, teachers, faculty members, and dear students. Jai Sitaram ji. On behalf of Satyug Darshan Trust, I sincerely thank Honorable Dr. Abdul Kalam ji and all other principals and respected dignitaries for accepting our request and taking our precious time to visit our campus for the interactive meet with students. Here I would like to take this opportunity to give you good news that the Trust has taken a decision to open world's first school of equanimity and even-sightedness on 26 January 2014 in this complex itself. To bring peace on earth through much-needed human transformation, your active support and cooperation in this endeavor is solicited. I feel honored to extend an invitation to Honorable Dr. Abdul Kalam and everyone present here to attend the auspicious opening ceremony of this school with their family members and friends. I wish the very best to each one of you. Jai Sitaram.
Thank you so much. At the end, I request all of you to please stand up for National Anthem. I request everyone present here to kindly have refreshments at the school mess before leaving. And once again, on behalf of Satyug Darshan Trust, I extend my warm thanks and gratitude for taking out your valuable time. Thank you and Jai Sitaram ji.